Hello, hello. How is everybody today? Are you up and at 'em and getting ready for work like I am? I enjoy going to work though. I have a really good job. I'm lucky. Today we're going to talk about something that I don't even want to talk about. Morning Samantha, plants that I'm struggling with. This is going to happen at your house too. Plants you're struggling with. I have researched. I have tried. Thank you. I have tried so hard with these plants and I just don't want to give up because I love them. So I'm going to show you which plants I'm struggling with. And these are plants I'm not going to sell you ever. Because I've lived with them. They're hard. I don't want you to have a hard time with the plants I give you. The plants I sell, I know with the right care are going to do well. First one, Stromanthe triostar. Look at how beautiful this plant is. This plant is absolutely gorgeous. It's got the pinks, it's got the whites, it's got wonderful light green, it's got green, and it's in the praying hands family, so it actually folds up at night. I love it. I love this plant. Now here's my struggles. I get crispy edges. Morning, Sandy. I get brown edges that I have to constantly cut off. All the new growth, and the new growth comes from right here. It's all dead before it comes out. So I'm like, what do you want? I have spray. I keep the humidity up. I put it in a pebble tray, which I don't think I've ever talked to you about a pebble tray. So what that is, well, because I keep mine in cash pose, in cover pots, I don't necessarily have rocks right now. They're all under snow. I need some rocks. So I put it in here, and I find a little tray just like this, and I fill this up with water. Fill it up with water. And what is supposed to happen is as that water evaporates, it is supposed to raise the humidity around my plant. What this one wants, I have no idea. I spray, I try, I give it little baths just to be sure, every leaf is clean. And I'm not ready to give up on it yet. I want it to thrive. I want it to, oh yes, look at that color on it. And it's probably been, about 6 months I've been fighting with this one. You should have seen the picture of it when I first got it. But you know what? It came from a greenhouse. So in the greenhouse, they have perfect growing conditions. They have the perfect amount of light. They have experts looking after your plants. They have the perfect humidity. And then you bring them home. And they have to acclimate to your house. Some plants do just fine. They do great. They're like, yeah, I want to live. Some don't. Here's another one that I bought and I was in love with. Calathea dotty. This one is a dark color. I'm even going to give that a little bath too. A little bit of a white just so you can see that beautiful leaf. Look at this leaf. It's got pink. And the underside is pink. Calathea dotty. You should have seen it when I brought it home. It was gorgeous. And it's really struggling. I have 3 leaves left. And there's some browning right here. These plants, they like to stay moist, but not soggy. You can never let these dry out, ever. But I am struggling with them. So I'm going to try what's called a pebble tray now. I had Decided I didn't want to do that because I thought, oh, if a plant is that fussy, do I really want to deal with it? Well, apparently there's a couple plants I will do that with. The other ones, and I just cringe when people buy these. I do. And I just don't have the heart to tell them, why did you buy that plant? Fittonia. Fittonia is the same. They are drama queens. They're awful little plants, but I love them. I fell for it. I'm like, oh, look at how white that is. I keep this right beside my sink. So every time I do dishes, it gets flush with humidity. They're alive, but they're not thriving. They're alive. Those you can't let dry out either. And I've got one more right here. And like, they're beautiful. But if they run low on water, the whole thing faints. Like, this is all new growth here. I mean, I guess I could be happy. Is it a success? Not yet. Because it could literally take 2 days for these to die. You got to keep on them. So they're right by the sink, right by the tap. I know, Sam, I know you bought one. Good luck. You tell me how it goes. And if you've got them nailed down, you share your story. But I fell for it because I loved the look of them when I first brought them home. But once again, they're coming from a nursery. I wish I had a nursery. Ooh, that would be the best. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to have these great, big, beautiful plants that never have any problems. Everything's perfect. And I do. But I also have a bunch that are just, oh boy, here's the next one. A plant everybody buys in the summer. Look at what happened here. It was a big, beautiful, lush plant when I bought it. Every leaf fell off. In fact, here's another one. I've had this one for a year because I overwintered it because I knew that eventually, if I waited long enough, these little leaves would sprout. Now, if you let this plant dry out, never let this plant dry out. It gets mad. You're going to lose all of your bloom tips, which are going to come from here. And you don't want to do that. Yeah, let him take care of it. He could be the Fittonia whisperer. Yep, water it. Now, I notice with some plants, spider mites just love them. There's some plants they'll never touch. And it seems like spider mites just come out of nowhere. And spider mites love hibiscus. They love ivies. All your ivies, they want to get in there. That's why they're a good outside plant, a good plant in the summer, because at least there's some predator insects outside that will handle your problems. Inside, it's you that has to look after them. So there is a lot of new growth on here. This one is direct sun. I will let you know in probably, hopefully a good month. That should be full and blooming. One more. This blue star fern. What is happening with you? So I've got some browning tips, which I should definitely, and I'm going to do it right now, I'm going to clean this plant up. I'm going to look for problems because there's got to be a problem. I've got to figure out what is going on. Now, I can see what's happening in here. There is some mold on top of the soil. So how I'm going to deal with that is I'm going to get my trusty, first I'm going to remove it. I will take a spoon, I'm going to get rid of that soil because obviously I've kept this one too wet. And that's because it's a fern and I didn't want it to die, so I overloved it. So I'm going to remove the topsoil, replace it, and I'm going to flush it with a peroxide mix. Morning, Julie. And that peroxide mix is 1 to 4. So 1 cup of peroxide, 4 cups of water. I'm going to take it to the sink and I'm going to flush it out. when you've done a plant flush, and you're not always going to do, it's not always necessary to flush them out. But after, you're going to have to add nutrients back into that soil, because as you flush the bad stuff out, all the good stuff goes with it. The only good thing, and yep, you're going to, is that the good stuff comes back. You add it. You've got your fertilizer. And when the plant, I fertilize when my soil is wet after I've watered, only because fertilizer can burn your leaves if you're using too much. Like any fertilizer that you buy, I recommend using a quarter strength. Whatever it says, I never use what they tell me, because I find it's too much and you might have some burn. Oh, this one's actually going to have to be clipped here. Close to the base as you can. Give it a clip. Pick it off. Let's see what we can do. We're going to save this plant, you guys. Because I just think, I used to be scared of ferns, but I feel like that comes from the Boston fern. Boston ferns are really good outdoor summer plants. You can find them anywhere, to any greenhouse at any time. But then you bring it in the house and it just slowly yellows out and dies. If you can keep the humidity up, then you can keep them alive. Like, if anybody has any tips on that, please feel free to share them. But this blue star fern, or is it a kangaroo paw? Somebody comment on what it is. I don't know. Kangaroo paw, maybe? Anyway, I'm going to give this some work today, right away this morning. I don't work till 8:30, so I actually can get lots done before work. Does anybody have any questions about my poor plants that are just not thriving for me? Yeah, so if I get too frustrated with the plants, which I'm not with these yet, I still want to try. I mean, my hibiscus I've tried for a year. I'm not ready to give up yet. It might go outside this summer, and that will definitely be the conditions it wants. Compost them. Get rid of it. Do not keep a plant that does not bring you joy. I cannot tell you how many plants over the years I just compost. Like, you know what? Didn't work in my house. Doesn't mean it's not going to work in yours. But I like my plants stress-free. That's what I'm into. So I'm going to give you an update on my cordyline, because this plant, I will never give up on my cordyline. She is far too gorgeous. Anyway, if you've watched any of my videos, this is how you get rid of gnats. And I'm not kidding. This works. This is how you get rid of gnats. Okay. I flushed this plant. Look at this plant. I'm going to tilt it. Like, this is just a stunner. Okay. I flushed the soil with peroxide. 1 cup peroxide, 4 cups water. So I did that twice. I took it to the sink. I flushed the soil out. So that killed probably 99% of my population, but not quite all of them. Because I check it every day. I got it sitting on the table. It needs to be looked at every day, because I do not want to lose this plant. So I would take any poke and stick I had, and yes, I know, a flashlight. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm serious when it comes to plants. I do not want pests in there. And I found after like the first day or two, because I check it every day, there was still 1 larvae, which means just the little worm, and 1 gnat. So what I did was I took a spray bottle with about a cup of water in it, dish soap, about a half a teaspoon of dish soap, and 4 drops of peppermint oil. So I sprayed it. I sprayed the whole top again. Okay? So that was probably day 2, maybe. I had a look. Now this has taken a couple weeks to get rid of this. And I'm looking right now, and if I see one, I'm going to be so disappointed. So I went a couple days later. I'm like, there's one more. So I went back in there with my spray. And I checked it again, and I left it again. Now, when I keep fooling around with the soil, with this, I'm drying it out. And the fungus is dying, right? Because the only thing, and there's nothing in here, I'm so happy. What causes fungus gnats is overwatering. Now remember, overwatering is watering a plant that doesn't need to be watered. Ditch your watering schedule. Don't water every Friday at 5 o'clock. That's how you overwater your plants. Water each plant when they need to be watered. And that's when they completely dry out. So a plant like this, in a pot this size, you know what, over the winter, once every 3 weeks. Because I don't want fungus gnats. And look at, there's absolutely nothing in here. And it was infested. Oh, I'm very happy. So as I disturb the soil, it's aerating it too. You guys know I like my soil. I like it aerated. Don't feel like you're disturbing the roots, but you are not wrecking anything. I get in there. I want my water to drain. And I'm rough with my plants. Like I'm not gentle when it comes to getting that soil aerated. So this part I probably did 3 or 4 times over 2 to 3 days. And now there's nothing in there. And I use Palmolive dish soap. Apparently Dawn works even better. But Palmolive was on sale, so that's what I had here. I like to use what's around the house. And even for, like, I'm not going to go out and buy a poke and stick. Stole my husband's flashlight. You know, morning, Leanne. Okay, so those are the plants that I'm struggling with. But here's one that I'm not. I just wanted to share this one with you. Because, you know, I buy plants. And I hoard some of them. Even though I tell you I'm not going to, I do. I'm guilty. This one was supposed to be for sale, but I just absolutely loved it and I couldn't. So this is a type of Hawthornia. Now, look at this crazy little bloom coming out. Crazy, and it looks like it could be yellow. It could be yellow, but what I like so much about this is it's actually bumpy. This is a type of succulent. It's got good variegation. Like, it's almost like the dark green is the variegation and the light green is the color, like the color. So I don't know. I just thought this one was really cool. There's some plants you don't see often. And when I see them, I grab them. I'm like, I don't know. I really like you. It's a good plant to throw in that south-facing window because you can't throw just any plant in that south-facing window or you're going to have trouble. They're just going to burn. But this guy, this can go right there. Plunk. Okay, you guys have a great day. Remember, ask questions. Ask questions on the page because there are some really good plant people on this page. We've got an awesome community. Somebody else might pipe in and say, oh, this is what you need to do, or this is what you need to do. This is just stuff that I do. This is what I find works in my house. It's not the only thing you can do. Like if somebody would like to give me advice on any of the plants I just showed you, yes, please. Okay, you guys have a good day. Once again, good talking to you. Hi, Emily. Good to see ya. Bye.